Welcome to English Vocabulary. Let's get started with the list.
Most.
For example, most everyone understood.
Near.
Example, a near perfect fit. Next example, near perfect conditions.
Nearly.
Very close to.
Let's try it in a sentence. Dinner's nearly ready. Next example, David was nearly asleep.
Nigh.
For example, highlights are nigh on impossible to pick out. Another example, a car weighing nigh on 2 tons.
Practically.
Virtually.
For instance, the cinema was practically empty. Let's check another sentence. The strike lasted practically a fortnight.
Semi.
For example, semi-darkness.
Virtually.
Nearly.
Let's try it in a sentence. The huge building was virtually empty. Let's check another sentence. The disease destroyed virtually all the vineyards in Orange County.
Well-nigh.
Example, a task that is well-nigh impossible. Let's check another sentence. Policing the coastline all the time was well-nigh impossible.
Getting on for.
Approaching a specified time, age, or amount.
Example, there are getting on for 700 staff. Next example, he was a chap who was getting on for 50, I should think, a lieutenant quartermaster, not a fighting man at all, and yet he'd brought up all these rations. Next example, the existing reactors are getting on for 30 to 40 years old and shutdown cannot be long delayed.
Feckly.
For the most part, mostly.
Next to.
Let's try it in a sentence. It would also be next to impossible to leave the train quickly in an emergency. Next example. The fight against flood devastation in Mozambique is next to impossible without more help. Let's check another sentence. Proving exact amounts of damage caused by an given virus is also next to impossible.
Next door to.
Near to.
For instance, on the way to the theatre Mr. Klein reminded his companion that Carmen had been next door to a failure at the Opera Comique 3 years before. Next example. She has to wait months for such an opportunity, meantime repeating, night after night, a character which she feels to be next door to a failure, and there is no more disheartening drudgery in the world. Another example. She thought George was next door to a saint.
Please feel free to comment on this list. We love to hear from you. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. By the way, the photos on this video are street photography of London, and don't directly represent the topics. You can find the photographer's Instagram in the description below. If you have any suggestion for the video graphics, please let us know in the comments.